Let me tell you a quick story about authenticity, because authenticity is kind of a superpower. And we know that being authentic is like good and everybody should strive for authenticity, but we often don't talk about the true superpowerness that is authenticity. Like there is something about authenticity that those people who get good at it and master it and understand it and embody it, it does something remarkable in their lives that, quite frankly, we often overlook. And it's something we don't talk about a whole lot. But when you know who you are and when you are comfortable being who you are, even in situations where it's challenging to be who you are, it is a superpower and it makes you capable of dealing with hardships on a much higher level. It makes you capable of dealing with difficulties and challenges in a very next level way. The truth is, most people don't know who they are to that degree. And most people aren't comfortable being themselves because we're too busy trying to impress other people. We're too busy trying to not be judged by other people, or maybe even be judged positively by other people. We're not really walking in our true selves. And today I want to tell you a story about someone who, like, their authenticity helped them, like, literally save their life. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And this is one of the most amazing people that I know. And I want to share that today. So welcome back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work as a psychotherapist and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. Of course, I'm your host, Elliott Connie. So what happened, I want to talk to you about my good buddy, Dr. Adam Frower's wife, Becca. Becca is someone, she knows exactly who she is. She knows exactly who she isn't. And she's just comfortable being who she is. And she's comfortable with you being not happy with who she is or who she isn't. Like, Becca is a very true and authentic person. One of the most challenging things ever was when Becca was diagnosed with breast cancer. This was a few years ago. I believe in 2018. Adam and I were in Orlando teaching together. Becca had a doctor's appointment that I don't think any of them realized was going to end up being as serious as it was. When Adam and I were teaching, he let me know he was going to get a call from Becca just to let him know how the doctor's appointment went. And she called him and told him the news. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. And I said to Adam, well, he stayed on the phone for a while. When he came back in, I said, do you need to go home? He said, no. She said, if I go home, there's nothing I can do anyway. So I'll just stay and finish the teaching, then we'll go home. And I said, how'd the call go? And he said, he asked her, how do you know you can get through this? I'll never forget that. How do you know you can get through this? And her response was, because I can do hard things. Now, that was such a powerful phrase for her to say at this time, on this day, in this period, while she's dealing with these things. It must have been really, really tough. But it also required her to be like a truly genuine, authentic person, that instead of focusing on the obstacle, instead of focusing on the challenge, instead of focusing on what is wrong and could go wrong and could be wrong, she was able to focus on strength and know that I can do hard things. And she could think of examples from her past where she did, in fact, do hard things, where she successfully was able to achieve and accomplish hard things. Over the next year, she had to go through radiation. She had to go through chemotherapy, or actually reverse, chemotherapy, then radiation, lots of medicine, lots of doctor's appointment, lots of everything. And it saved her life. And during that year, the like battle cry for the Frower family was, I can do hard things. Because when you know yourself, you're comfortable facing obstacles and you become more flexible in what you can handle and what you can accept. You learn that old idea, like, I have to accept the things I cannot change and then deal with the rest of the things. And she had to accept what she could not change so she could just be herself. And it led to her healing. It was fantastic to watch. One of the most inspiring things I ever saw. Now, I wouldn't wish her to go through that ever again, but watching her go through it and the way she went through it was one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. And it was another lesson on how being your authentic self, knowing yourself, was a superpower and could help you accomplish just about anything. So I want you to think, what is the most inspiring way you've ever seen someone deal with a change or deal with a challenge? And what lessons did you learn from watching that person? And how did you notice their authenticity helped them in that challenge? Because I guarantee you it did. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind doing me a super huge favor, I would love it if you would share this podcast with at least one person in your life that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. And also follow me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can search for my name, Elliott Connie, or at Elliott Speaks. That's my handle across all platforms. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.